All right, welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Friday edition. Cousin Sal here, Joe House is here, Raheem Palmer, and Anthony Dabbundo. I am back. I feel like I was in Cooperstown, New York for 3 weeks. I was not inducted, sadly, but I watched my boy compete. Very proud of him. 6-1, lost in the quarterfinals out of 102 teams. But you know what, fellas? It's time to get down to business, House. You felt it. There was a game last night. We're doing previews, baby. NFL previews.
Well, that game, I'd like a thank you from America, because on the Wednesday Ringer Gambling Show, I said, yes, I'm going to be watching that football game, and yes, I'm going to bet it. Of course, the classic bet is the stupid under on the Hall of Fame game. 35 points was the total. 0 points in the first quarter of that football game, and then 34 in the second quarter, and the bet was done. But it was wildly exciting, Cousin Sal. Football is back!
The highest, it is back. I'm very excited. You wouldn't stoop so low, Raheem, to bet this game. Dabbundo, I don't think you would either, right?
Well, this is like the first year in like 15 years I haven't bet the Hall of Fame game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Washed.
I actually wanted to take Carolina, but I just was so busy. I was locked in on prepping that I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bet it.
What a fun result that would have been, right? You could have just washed your hands of the whole season with that. Yeah, Dabbundo, I don't know. You did not play it, right? I feel like you were not.
I did not. I don't
Haynes
have
King
a strong
miracle.
opinion on this whole thing. Like, I think people are like, you must bet or you must not bet, or if you bet, call the number. People can do what they want. I did not wager. I have in the past wagered on the Hall of Fame game, but this year there was nothing particularly exciting to me. And I'll be completely honest, for full transparency, I did not watch the game.
Okay.
But,
All right, that's
I'm excited
fine.
for football to be back nevertheless.
This is a Ringer Gambling Show presented by FanDuel. Football season is back, and there's never been a better time to get in the game because FanDuel is giving rewards all season long. Whether picking a champion or building future same-game parlays, FanDuel has you covered. The app is fast, easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. Head to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started today. You have to be 21 or older in select states, 18 or older in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Yeah, we'll watch the ones that count, but I'm with you. Like, why get over people? Like, I have no shame. By the way, there was more money bet on this game, Raheem, than any MLB or WNBA game last night. House, I had the dog in the under on a teaser. I could see Raheem's head spinning off a freaking preseason
Wait. How did you get a teaser? Because I used to crush preseason teasers, and that was like the golden age of betting. So the fact that I haven't been able to find any preseason teasers, like, if you bring that back, oh my God.
I'll talk to you after. I mean,
I
I'm
need
already
to talk to you
0-1.
because this is crazy.
Well, I took the 7.5 fine with the Cardinals, so that last play didn't matter. And but I went under 40.5. I thought that was a miracle. 40.5, and like you said, 33-30, the highest scoring Hall of Fame game of all time. But you know, like, whatever. I figure I've lost plenty of money on Carson Beck before. He was not a problem. Haynes King was not a problem. We'll talk about that. But I feel like we have to welcome football. Like, they're inviting us in, even though it's preseason. Like, when you go to someone's house, Dabbundo, for a dinner party, even if it's just hors d'oeuvres, you bring something, right? That's kind of what I did. I brought my losing teaser.
What would I bring to football? I'll tell you what. I will tune in to the first quarter of the Colts game. Is that enough?
Okay. Yeah. It's what you said. Do what you want. It's there's no shame, though, in betting this, is what I'm saying.
No shame.
Yeah.
The one thing, it's like a lot of the sharps will be like, oh, we make all of our best money during the preseason. That's where the edges are to be found.
Right.
It's like, all right, that's good for you. And I am a little bit too in the weeds in the other sports to like be fully locked into football yet. I'm not there yet. I'm ready to preview it, but I'm not ready to fully watch it yet.
What other sports is there now?
Yeah, bro,
Raheem,
Dabbundo.
Oh,
Raheem, do you understand that Chris Sanchez pitched in Citizens Bank Park last night?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but you had to lay like minus 320.
And guess what? I did it. And guess what? We won.
Even he was watching the football game from the dugout. One thing you could maybe get, and again, House, you can't overreact to these things, but I always overreact. Offensive Rookie of the Year. A lot of disrespect for Bryce Young, who took his team to the playoffs. This Haynes King runs it in, ends the game. He had 180 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 39 rushing. I'm looking for his number, and I'm looking for Carson Beck's number, 15 for 19, 188 and a touchdown. Would either of these interest you, House?
I mean, the Carson Beck is not lunacy to me. He looked comfortable. I mean, we understand what's going on there. The problem is rookie of the year for a team that wins less than 4 games doesn't tend to land. So that's why the odds are there. But the King kid, I mean, the open touchdown, I mean, you could have thrown it 50 yards in the air and the guy still would have been open. And he zinged one off his hands, basically out of bounds. I basically changed the game after that. The Red Sox baseball game was more exciting than watching that kid, throw dirt balls and high balls. But
there's more points, more runs in that game actually than this one.
Carson Beck, there's something there. I'm not going to bet him rookie of the year.
His competition is
he's not
particularly
going to play
fierce.
football this year.
Since when?
I mean, you got Jacoby Brissett, you got Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Then you have pretty much the odds-on favorite for rookie of the year in Jeremiah Love, who's going to soak up all the carries. So this is a non-starter for me.
No, I'm with you.
Tate gave him out 25-1 on Wednesday. We talked about Beck, and now he's down 19-1. Well, Helium, 7th favorite. That's how interestingly mediocre this rookie class is.
That's
Mendoza might not play football this year. He's the 2nd favorite, and Beck is most likely not playing for the Cardinals. He's the 7th favorite. Lemon's already hurt. He's the 6th favorite.
But in terms of, you guys know how this goes. Like the starting quarterback, if he is the starting quarterback, and he won't be, you're right, Raheem, until something happens.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit of a nod because they have, they get the reps. So only in terms of quarterbacks, only Mendoza is ahead of him. Do I have that right, Dabbundo? Am I looking at that? Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. I know.
If you like anybody, I think Price should be favored over Love.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
We're doing that. He's going to easier path to carries, more primetime games. I mean, is anybody going to be paying attention to the Cardinals this year?
No.
When they're buried in the late window.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we're going to preview all these divisions. We're going to start. We have plays of the day. We just handicapped the biggest headline. The second biggest headline is Dabbundo catching a foul ball. We'll wrap with that. My God. Though I don't know what odds. I didn't see that on FanDuel anywhere, House. But anyway, it happened. And it's over. His first foul ball.
Did you have to steal it from a kid? That's what I want to know.
No. It was craziness.
I mean,
it's a whole arc. Should we just talk about it now, Sal?
Go ahead. Yeah, let's do it now. Yeah.
We're gonna do it now.
Really, it's a two-part story. So this goes back to earlier in the spring. I was at a game against the Reds with our colleague Cliff Augustin, and the rain started to come, and Cliff went up under the overhang, so he wasn't getting soaked. But I was still in my seat, and my section was like a third full, and there was a perfect tailor-made Bryson Stott back-spinning lob foul ball coming to my hands, and it went right through them. It just slipped right off, and I got booed by everybody, and I had to put my hands over my face. I couldn't believe it. And the kid, the guy was like 35. He got the ball in the section next to me after it went off my hands. So fast forward to Wednesday night, Citizens Bank Park. Dalen Lyle's up, 3rd of the inning, top of the 3rd. He hits a foul ball, and it's immediately I'm like, oh, wow, this is like a tailor-made foul ball again. Now, but this time the section is packed. And when I tell you that the ball could not have been more right at me, I had to do a little lean back. It hit off the top of my hands and then started to fall in front of me when I did the basket two-handed catch, put the ball in the air, got a nice little cheer, took a selfie, I got the ball. Then I turned around. I realized there was a lovely 12-year-old behind me. I gave him the ball. He took the ball.
A
he called
lovely 12-year-old.
He called like 3 of his buddies. He's like, "You're not gonna believe this. I just got a ball at the game, Mateo. Like, was I on TV?" And I told him, I was like, you need to juice the story more. I said, you got to tell him you caught it one-handed. Like you got to play it up. You can't just say that the guy in front of you gave you the ball. So as the night went on, he started exaggerating the story further and further when he would call his buddies. So it was pretty funny until the Phillies lost in 11 innings. But yeah, my first time ever catching a foul ball or a ball in general that wasn't like tossed to me by a player at a Phillies game.
So, let me just get in here. So I was all on your side because you posted a picture online with you holding a ball in the stadium, which really anyone could do. And we discussed it on our chain. And I said it's minus 600 that it bounced off your body and you retrieved it under your seat just to be a, antagonist. But you said no. And then you explained just how it happened and you demonstrated. But now that I hear you told a boy to exaggerate how he caught the ball, now I'm thinking you might be doing the same. House, do you feel this way?
Oh, this is a good one.
Wow. My honor is being attacked.
Well, there should be footage, right? Isn't there a way to pull it up? Where's the video clip, Dabbundo?
So I have a friend who works for NBC Sports Philly, and he did text me and say what inning was which batter, and I said it was Lyle in the third. However, the broadcast did not cut to the seats.
Yeah.
It was actually during that inning that the random fan came in and called, the celebrity fan who did the incredible job of calling the third inning the other night.
Yeah,
he was like 70 years old. He sounded like Vin Scully, but they did not, unfortunately, get me on TV. That would have been great, but
it'll forever be a mystery, cuz.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'll buy it for now. What are we going to do? Congratulations to you and to, what was his name? Simon? Who was the 12-year-old?
I actually never got his name.
Oh, you never got his name. You just said he was lovely. All right. Good job by you. Nice work. All right, let's do it, guys. We have 8 of these to do. We're essentially doing these every Monday and Friday. There's going to be a Friday we're off. Whatever. Division previews, NFL. I will not be participating in making picks. I'm doing these August 27th with Simmons. I think they run that weekend. I'll sit back. I'll set the table. I'll listen to your guys' thoughts, and then I'll steal your takes for my sit-down with Simmons on the 27th. That's how this is going to work. So let's start. I know they didn't win the division last year, but I'm going in order of who's favored in the division this year. AFC East, Bills, 10.5. Overs -120. The under is even. They're -130 to win the division. 5-1 for the conference. 11-1 for the Super Bowl. New stadium, new coach. McDermott out. Joe Brady in after being in the OC for 2 seasons. 12-5 last year. They lost in the conference semis. A gut-wrenching loss to the Broncos. All their playoff losses are gut-wrenching. I throw to you, House, how you playing this over-under 10.5?
So I have the Buffalo Bills at a slight over. I have them worse than last year, but over their win total. A win total of 10.5. I have the Buffalo Bills winning 11 games this season. It comes down to this. Do I think that Josh Allen is going to play either all of the games or nearly all of the games? And the answer to that is yes. And so I am compelled because the Buffalo Bills have not won fewer than 11 games since Josh Allen's rookie year in 2018. 6 straight years above 11 games. The schedule is fine. I like what they're doing in terms of, the ball in Josh Allen's hands. I mean, I feel like we can kind of run it back. I understand the skepticism that is out there as it relates to their defense. I do think that I'm more inclined to think that this Jim Leonard character is going to, with his installation of the 3-4, a positionless 3-4, and the addition of Bradley Chubb, the Bills' defense is the same every single year, and the Bills still win 11 games. They haven't been good. They were one of the worst run stoppers in the NFL last year. They really didn't do anything to improve that. They continue to have compromised depth at linebacker. Fine. We've been watching this team with Josh Allen at the helm for long enough, and I'm going to go ahead and just ride with what history has demonstrated to us.
Over 10.5. Yeah, the Bundo House talks about that defense. They signed Bradley Chubb to a 3-year deal. They trade back, I think, 3 times in the draft at the first round, and they get the edge from Clemson, whose sacks went down, but he had a great Senior Bowl. What are you seeing for this team, over or under 10.5?
I think House and I might disagree on like every team this episode, so this is not going to be a very fun podcast for us.
Of course it is.
It'll be very fun.
But it also could be really fun. It could. I think the Bills have been dealt the toughest schedule maybe they've ever been dealt in this era. I mean, last year, I remember I bet Bills 1 seed. I was like, they're going to cakewalk to the 1 seed. This won't be a problem for them. Look at the division's weak. The rest of the conference is so down. Kansas City has a much tougher schedule. Baltimore has a much tougher schedule. And we were right about Kansas City and Baltimore, but we weren't right about Buffalo because the Bozo Bills go out and they just lose, 2 to 3 games every year where you're like, what? What is going on? And this year there just isn't any margin for error. Like their schedule is brutal team in the AFC this year. And they open Houston, Detroit, Chargers, Patriots, Rams. Those first 5 games. So there's not going to be any runway for the new DC to like ease his way in. And I think one of the reasons their defense has always held up okay is because they always had, 6 or 7 or 8 bad quarterbacks that McDermott could always feast on. I don't see that with this team. I understand that some of the improvements, like DJ Moore, maybe helps them beat offensive, man coverage more often because they couldn't beat man last year either. That was the first year where Josh Allen was bad against man. But like this defense, like House said, bottom against the run, gave up a ton of explosive plays. And do they even have corners that we trust if Leonard wants to run this man defense that he likes to do? Benford's okay. He's been inconsistent and he's been hurt a bunch. And I don't love their linebackers in coverage. So you're left with a really incomplete defense and an offense that is so reliant on Josh Allen that eventually there's got to be some risk there. Now, I get it. Like, they've literally finished between first and fourth EPA per drive 6 straight years. But not enough this year, under 10.5.
All right. So we're split there so far, Raheem. I should note for the schedule, the AFC East plays the AFC West and the NFC North. So inherently, that's going to be tough schedule. I'm always torn on this, Raheem, because you could be like, you could see a Buffalo team like, oh, that's a ridiculous schedule. Dabbundo went over the first 5. They have 7 standalone games. They play Thanksgiving, Christmas. Dabbundo 12-16, Chiefs, Patriots, Packers, Bears, Broncos. So it doesn't get any easier until like really the last 2 weeks. But Raheem, the flip side is they always play a first place schedule. And they're always
I think there's a couple of interesting things here, and I think both House and Dabbundo both hit on it. So, Josh Allen is kind of similar to Dak Prescott, where he has a very high floor. Now, obviously, Dak Prescott's floor is about 8 wins. Josh Allen's floor has been 11 wins. Since his second year, they've always won 11 games. But I think this is probably the worst Buffalo roster that we've ever seen, and particularly on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you lose pretty much all of your defensive players. You lose Joey Bosa, you lose Daquan Jones, Shaq Thompson, Cam Lewis, Matt Milano, Trey White. You lose so many guys, and I know you bring in Bradley Chubb, and I know Oliver should be healthy this year, but you're talking about a team who was 31st in run EPA per play. You could run on this team. And not only could you run on this team and keep Josh Allen off the field, they got explosives. I mean, you got Bijan Robinson and the Atlanta Falcons running for 200 yards. You had the Baltimore Ravens running for 200 yards. I mean, they were basically running a train on this defense. Devon Achane. And, Anthony Dabbundo mentioned the schedule to start the year. Well, let's go weeks 12 through 16 where you actually have to play KC, New England, Green Bay, Chicago, and Denver. Those are all playoff teams. So, I run my model, and obviously I know a lot of people are sick of me talking about my model, but the model has worked. So shut up. So here's the thing.
I have a bet on a PM on how many model references Raheem will make in this episode. That's first one.
This episode or this season?
No, but I mean, here's the thing. The model has it at 11 games. So it's right there at the floor. But when I look at this roster, to me, I think this is a team that could go under. So I think when you're looking at the Buffalo Bills, to me, I think you need to be approaching this from an alt standpoint. Because if Josh Allen wasn't on this team, we're talking about a team that's probably one of the worst teams in the league. And we're still unsure about this coaching staff. I mean, Joe Brady, he's done a tremendous job in terms of the offense. But what are you going to get from the defensive coordinator? Like, that's still up in the air. So I'm going to pass on this. But I think if you're going to approach the Buffalo Bills, I think you have to approach it from the long tail outcomes. Either you play an alternate win total, and that's something that we've talked about in the past because you see teams tend to go 2 or 3 games above or below. Or you look at this schedule and you say, look, if they come out and they come out hot against, this schedule of Houston, Detroit, the Chargers, New England, and the Rams, Josh Allen is a shoo-in for MVP. Or Joe Brady is the shoo-in for Coach of the Year at 15-1. So I think you approach it from the long tail outcomes, but I'm passing on the season win total.
All right. Let the record
and week
show.
one's a good test.
Hold
week
on
one's a really good
second.
test for them.
Let the record show that Raheem, in the very first over-under in our preview, is passing on the Buffalo Bills.
I'm
right there on the number. I'm right there on the number.
He's on the number. That's all.
Well, it's a half. They make it a half so that you could go over on. It's okay. Dabbundo did this last year, and he received endless ridicule from Bill Simmons. So I wish you.
Bill Simmons is going to love me for this.
Yeah.
Especially for what I'm going to say about his team. So, Bill, we on the same page. Come on, Bill. Show me some love.
I just want to make a quick observation in terms of the schedule situation and the observation that Dream just shared. All of those guys that Dream mentioned in terms of not being on this roster anymore, look at the aggregate number of games those guys actually played football games for the Buffalo Bills last season. They didn't have them last season. I don't think it matters. The thing about the schedule, the early part, it's challenging, and all of these teams are forecasted to have strong win totals, but they get Detroit and the Chargers and New England all in a row at home in that brand new stadium, which I think is going to be
we didn't mention that. Yep.
Really, really impressive. And Detroit, especially without Terry and Arnold, that's a game changer to me. So I think there's a reasonable chance the Bills come out and go 3-2 over that first.
But you know what? You just hit on something interesting. Because a lot of times you get into these new stadiums, and these new stadiums don't have the home field advantage that the previous stadium has. So, I mean, that's something to monitor as well. And, here's another model reference. you tend to run these regressions on these, home field advantages, and it's not the same in the new stadium. So that's something that I'm going to be monitoring going forward.
No, it's a different playing surface too. Like the opportunity to be indoors more often. Josh Allen has historically been dominant in those situations. They're actually built to play. People talk about like, oh, they're built for the snow. Like this team hasn't really been built for the snow in a while. The way they play football. So you get them indoors, they should be a lot of fun. I think like Houston's a perfect test for them week 1. I mean, last year, 2 years ago, they were number 1 against man. And last year they were number 11 offensively. So Houston's going to man up. They're going to press. They're going to play aggressive defensively. And they're going to say, all right, what do you got? Can you beat us? And in the past, the answer for Josh Allen has been no. He's had like 2 of his worst games ever against the Texans. So that'll be a good opportunity to test them in week 1.
How do we feel about DJ Moore? Do we feel like it's going to make this offense better? Because, I mean, the reports out of camp is that he's been solid, but you got to have your reservations based on how he's looked with Chicago and then especially how he ended that season.
I mean, I think so. I mean, we were forced to get excited about Terrell Shavers and Keon Coleman last year for the Bills, who, by the way, are still on the roster and basically like 3rd and 4th on the depth chart. But yeah, I mean, every bit helps. But I mean, also the home field, I feel like it goes on outside the stadium with the meatheads jumping through tables. The maybe not necessarily the big advantage indoors. But all right, interesting team. But Raheem, like, how do we? And I fall victim to this too. I look at the schedule. I'm like, oh, that is a dominant schedule. But we pick these games and we judge these games through the lens of gambling. They're favored in 13 games. I've not looked at each line. I'm not cheating on guess the lines. I just know that they're favored in 13 games. Shouldn't that dispel any, but they have the toughest schedule thing?
Well, I mean, the Chiefs were favored in a bunch of games last year, and they went 6-11. So, the market is not always efficient.
But more times than not,
the margin of how big they're favored, I think, matters a lot. Like Buffalo looks like they're going to have a lot of games where they're like 2.5. 2.
I got you, but all these games that we say are tough, they're favored. You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't chalk up Houston, Detroit, and New England as losses in the first 5. I don't know. It's right around there. All right. So Raheem passes. You two are split, Dabbundo and House. Let's go to last year's AFC East champ. Is that how it worked? Oh, my God. 14-3, the New England Patriots. They're also at 10.5. The over's -140. The under's -140. The over's +120. They're +130 to win the division, 8-1 for the conference, and 17-1 for the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel, second year, uneventful offseason. I can't think of anything really. But as far as the team goes, transactions, A.J. Brown from the Eagles. Much tougher schedule this season compared to last year when they played Conference USA. But does it warrant a 3.5 game regression from 14 to 10.5? House, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I am playing New England as a tiny under because I have Buffalo at 11 wins and New England at 10 wins. And they might switch places, but look, I'm not going to do the Super Bowl loser hangover thing because that's not really truly a thing. If you look at over the last 25 years, nearly 70% of the teams that finished as the loser in the Super Bowl make it back to the playoffs. And, yes, there is a standard regression to the number of wins that those Super Bowl losers have. And it tends to be in that, just over 2 games, 2 to 3 game kind of range. This to me is just the great unknowns, the fascinating test that's in front of us around the easiest schedule in perhaps the history of modern NFL, and how to handicap a team that shows up with mostly the same defense and one tremendous improvement on offense. But when you put that through the blender of how does this team fare against the schedule that they're going to confront this season, it's not going to be rookie quarterbacks. It's not going to be backup quarterbacks. And it's going to be teams with functional offenses. They don't get to play the easiest schedule in the NFL on every single basis. If you go through the quarterbacks that they played, and we could, I don't need to rehash the playoff part of it, but they played Quinn Ewers in week 18, Brady Cook in week 17. Tyler Huntley had to come in for Lamar Jackson in week 16. They played rookie Jackson Dart in week 13. They played Joe Flacco backup when he was with the Bengals in week 12. They played Dylan Gabriel. They played Cam Ward. They played Spencer Rattler. Now, to their credit, they went 12-1 against teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the arrival of Vrabel and McDaniel and stabilizing the institution of the New England Patriots. They unleashed Drake May. All of that is entirely appropriate. They played the bottom 9 pass defenses in the entire NFL last year. That's not who they're playing this year. So I'm just playing a tiny bit of regression. They also were number 1 in the entire NFL in health across the board. They finished inside the top 10 in terms of the health of their guys on both sides of the ball, notwithstanding Milton Williams, only playing 12 games. So it's just a small step back. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I have them right behind Buffalo at 10 wins, and that's the way I'm looking at it.
You're thinking them stealing Stefan Diggs, your team stealing him from the Patriots, is going to move the needle. That's the big move. No, I
don't think that.
I'm not going to give a pick just yet, but I will say there is a chance they could be better than they were last year and not win as many games. I mean, is that fair, Dabbundo?
That
Totally
was the
reasonable.
exact same take I was going to say.
Right?
Totally
Sorry about
exact
that.
same take.
Sorry, Raheem. I'm
my
looking
God.
at it because if you look at the schedule, and there's a lot to be made of it. It was disgusting last year what they went through. But compared to the Bills, Dabbundo, who would you rather have as your extra games? At Seattle, at Jacksonville, and Pittsburgh, or let me get this right, at Houston, at the Rams, and Baltimore?
Yeah, I'll take the first one.
Right, and that's the Patriots. How the
The
hell did
Patriots.
this happen
Well,
again?
That's what I said. We talked
Yeah.
about this earlier this year. We said it was actually better to be first place schedules had a tougher run than the second place in the AFC because KC, Baltimore, and Buffalo didn't even win their division. And a lot of people like
Jacksonville,
Houston.
Pittsburgh are
A lot of people like
fraudulent
Houston
winners,
more than the
potentially.
Jags.
Right.
You know,
Right. All right. So
kind of worked
which way
out
you
for
going?
him.
Yep.
I'm going over. House made the point about the one big move to this offense. I think it's more than that. I think there's numerous moves they made that make this offense way more formidable as the schedule maybe beefens up a little bit. Last year they were still top 7, even once you adjust offensively for the schedule. So were they a top 3 offense? Probably not, but top 7, yes. And they didn't just add A.J. Brown. They added Romeo Doubs, who I am still a big fan of. They have a lot of flexibility with those 3 guys, right? We've seen A.J. Brown operate out of the slot even when he was with Mike Vrabel in Tennessee way back when. They used to run those deep digs, and he was super effective over the middle. And that was Philly was we don't use the middle of the field. But guess what? A.J. Brown's really good over the middle of the field, so I'm excited to see what that looks like. Booty was their deep threat, but he's more than capable of being an underneath guy as well, which he has been at other past stops, and he was in college. And then they went and got better blocking tight ends behind Hunter Henry, where last year they could not run at all. The run game was a joke. And a lot of that had to do with the lack of blocking tight ends. So I understand why there's questions about their O-line and whether it can hold up. I think Vera Tucker's a good add. Will Campbell, year 2, hopefully goes better than year 1. Probably can't go worse than the second half of year 1, although, that was post-injury. He wasn't the same player. But I think this offense, the other reason I'm really bullish, there's 21 new offensive play callers. There's 14 new defensive play callers. That means there's only 8 teams in the NFL who have the same head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator from last season. And New England's one of those teams. They have their personnel in place. They trust their guys. They like what they got from both coordinators. I thought both did a good job last year. So I think they get with a little bit of a leg up when you consider the upcoming season. And you're like, all right, they're adding new pieces offensively, giving Drake May more responsibility. Can their defense hold up? That is where I'm a little more dubious. But I don't really think there's a big difference between New England and Buffalo at this point.
That DC's not new. That was the interim last year. Zach Kerr.
Well, so he took over early.
He stepped in when health issues from Terrell Williams. All right.
Yeah.
Raheem, sorry.
This is the clear best team in the division. I don't know what everybody else is seeing. Like this,
I don't know if I agree with that.
No, the only reason
I think they're like the same.
No, they're not the same. The only reason why Buffalo has a higher win total is because they have Josh Allen.
Well, that's part of it, Raheem. That does.
I mean, I know that's part of it, but I'm just saying.
He does play football.
Roster for roster, the New England Patriots are better. And then if you look at what Drake May did, I mean, let's be real. Drake May was absolutely incredible last year. You're talking about a guy who threw for almost 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He was first in completion percentage at 72% of his passing. He had 450 rushing yards. I mean, this offense, what were they? They were first in EPA per play, but they were 25th in running the ball. They could not run the ball. And they were 24th in pressure rate. Like allowed. And May was 30th in sacks. So the offensive line wasn't very good. They couldn't run the ball. And Drake May was still phenomenal. Then now you add A.J. Brown, you add Romeo Doubs, you add Elijah Vera Tucker, you slide my guy, what's my guy's name? Jared Wilson over the center. I think the offensive line should be a little bit better. And then I also look at the defense, and I think the defense started to come on to its own towards the end of the year. And if you look at the defense, when Milton Williams and Christian Barmore were on the field at the same time, the defense was a lot better. So I think the defense came into its own. Like, they're almost like the inverse Rams. You look at the Rams at the end of last year, the defense was trash. Well, the Patriots defense got better. So I think the Patriots are the clear favorite in this division. I know another model reference. I have the Patriots at 10.7 wins. I just think they're the best team in this division. I'm going over 9.5, minus 150. I know it's a lot of juice, but give me the Patriots over 9.5, and we'll talk about the division later, but I'm going to be on the Patriots.
All right. I talk about Raheem's model all the time, but Raheem's model had the Bills having a better record than the Patriots. But he says the Patriots are the clear winner of this division.
Well, and then he played the win total at a full game under, just laying the juice, which is fine. I'll do that too. I think they're going to win Buffalo. 10 games. Yeah. So over 9.5 at minus 150. But what was on our rundown sheet was over 10.5. Yeah, that's fine. I played the under. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. No, I mean,
here's the thing. Here's the thing about our rundown sheet.
Because the tiniest of needles. We're gonna.
Here's the thing about our rundown. Here's the thing about our rundown sheet. Our rundown sheet said Bills under 10.5 wins at minus 140.
Yeah, it was very close. Some of these on FanDuel are right.
Whoever who's the producer? Stefan Anderson, I love you to death. But you just picking which one you want, and I'm picking which one I want.
You could blame me, Raheem. You don't have to go after the producers. I made it by whichever. I love you too, but the smaller vig was the one we went with, and that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, I
didn't know.
It's all right.
We're coming to blows on the first
Patriots at 9.5, so that's where I ran with.
Gotcha. Okay. I go with the smaller vig. I mean, of course. Hey, why don't you go 8.5? I bet that's 220.
I ain't going that far. It's only 10 cents though.
That's great.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Just because you want it your way, I'll go a different way. All right.
Let's just start making up our own lines. 10. It's just 10.
Well, we did.
It's available on the market. It's a good play. I don't mind over 9.5.
Of course.
It's fine.
If anything falls off this year, I think it's going to be the defense, not the offense. People are baking in regression for their offense. Oh, they're playing real teams this year. Like you talked about, Raheem, the defense coming on at the second half. I do think a good amount of that had to do with the quarterbacks that that House mentioned. They played.
That's fair.
They played a lot of nobodies.
Well, how about this? You don't have to speculate. He was fucking awful the last 3 weeks, including the playoff weeks. Okay, so that's not the real Drake May, but maybe the first 17 weeks isn't the real Drake May, right?
True.
So I don't know.
You know, one thing I will say,
their offense did collapse.
I think this is very important. They play Seattle week 1. They're like 5-point dogs or whatever. I think, was it 3.5 now or is it
3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I got them written down. It's okay.
But yeah, like they play Seattle on the road at week 1. They play Pittsburgh at home. They play Jacksonville and they play Buffalo. I think there's going to be an opportunity to buy on the New England Patriots in season if they start off slow. And I don't know if anybody of you guys read Billy Walters' book, but if you are or sports bettors, you're watching the show, obviously, you should read his book. One thing he says is that he runs another model reference. Anyway, he runs his model, and for the first game of the year, the Super Bowl loser is worth 1 point to the spread to the other team, 0.8 to be exact. And then for the first 4 games of the season, it's worth about 0.5 point to the other team. So maybe you get past those first 4 games. You got 3 games on the road. Seattle, you got Jacksonville, you got Buffalo. Maybe you get past that, and then you buy on New England at that point. Maybe you play some long-tail outcomes. Maybe you play New England to win the Super Bowl, New England to make the playoffs, New England win the division. Because I think, the models say those first 4 games is advantageous to the opposing team.
I think it's interesting. The first game, I guess, since we're gonna talk about the number. Seattle 3.5 was the Super Bowl line.
Right.
Literally no football has been played since, except for the Hall of Fame game, since that game. And the first game of the season is Seattle at home on banner night, laying the same number they laid in the Super Bowl. It's a little bit of an indication, maybe not of what the market thinks of New England, but what maybe the market thinks of Seattle.
Well, their MVP of that Super Bowl game you're referring to is no longer on the team.
That is true.
Maybe that's a point. Maybe there's something in there. All right, now we got to, I guess we have to do this because there are 2 other teams in this division. And one of them's the New York Jets, and their over-unders at 5.5. Under pays -120. The over's even. They're 20-1 for the division, 125 for the conference, and 300-1 to win the Super Bowl. A joke of the team. They had 0 interceptions in the first 8 weeks and then 0 in the last 9 weeks. That's how I split it up. That's a total of 0 interceptions. So Frank Reich steps in. Geno Smith's going to be the signal caller to start. They're with the only team with 3 first-round picks. So can they improve on their 3 wins last season? House 3-14 last year. Our friends at FanDuel predict they will win 2 more than that, 2.5 really, at 5.5. What do you like?
Yeah, I'm playing the over because I think the Jets very quietly had a really good offseason. They made a lot of smart additions, and it was curious to me that they're not doing a full teardown and, just try and grab draft pick kind of strategy. They are doing a tiny bit of a retool. They added talent on both sides of the ball, even after telling us that they intended to, tank the latter half of the season. And they certainly did a great job at that. I mean, Brady Cook, those games that he played were literally horrendous for Jets fans. But I think that, the single thing that holds me back from being bullish about this Jets team is the coaching staff. I think the talent and the coaching staff are a little bit of a mismatch. I think that they, bolstered the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, and the regression that's coming from the no turnovers last year, it translates all by itself. Just if they have a slightly below average turnover situation this upcoming season, they will be better. And asking them to get to, they went 3-7 over their last 10 games. This looks to me like a 6 or 7 win team.
Do it. Go ahead. Do it. Have some fun.
I'm not doing it. God, I forgot. So I'm playing a tiny over on the Jets.
All right. Dabbundo, which way you going? Like they get that Bailey, the edge from Texas Tech. He had like 14.5 sacks. They have Sadiq. I know there's some injuries already. For tight end for Oregon. He's a freak athletically. They got the wide receiver Cooper. They did nicely in the draft. They certainly rebuilt better than I'll compare them to the Dolphins. How would you see in this?
Yeah, they're like one step further along in the rebuild, along than Miami is, who's I think this year fully punting. I don't know if the Jets are a full punt. But my numbers say I should bet the over. I can't do it. I can't. I don't trust the coaches. And honestly, like for a defensive coach to come in, we all agree, like Aaron Glenn never really had a chance of being Like the Jets never had a chance of being good last year with their personnel, but to not force like any turnovers and to not be good at tackling and to not be a good defense in any way, shape, or form, when that was supposed to be the thing that you're kind of known for from Detroit, that feels like a blaring red flag. And I was trying to find odds for first coach to be fired, and I couldn't. I think the most interesting question about the Jets this year might be not do they win the division, do they come in third? How many wins does Aaron Glenn need to save his job for 2027?
Well, I mean, maybe just focus on what you said about the turnovers because that's supposed to be his thing. And if they went from 0 to 6, 6 would be also horrible, but a huge improvement and win them a couple.
Might
of
win
games.
them a game or two, right?
Right.
That's the thing.
So I don't know. All right, so
But then it's like Frank Reich. Okay, look, Frank Reich had some great ideas and was a great offensive coach about 9 years ago when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and he was engineering that dominant offense, and then he went to Indy and for a couple of years like the Colts were cooking, 2018 Colts, 2020 Colts, and then like 2021 came and then 2022 came and Frank Reich was still doing the same stuff, and then he was in Carolina and he got fired in remarkably fast quick time. And then he went to Stanford, and then he was like kind of helping out a few other places. And it's like, all right, so has he had any new ideas? Does he have anything different? Any new wrinkles? Any surprises coming our way? And honestly, I don't think the answer to that is yes. So I used to be a Frank Reich guy, but now I'm pretty profoundly anti-Frank Reich. So, Gino with a mediocre O-line, a shaky offensive coordinator, an okay receiving group. I think it's a decently fun group. Gino could throw for a lot of yards in garbage time, but it really all comes down to the defense.
All right, so you're going over. House is going over. Raheem, this team is interesting. They're favored to win 4 games. They have no primetime games. I love God bless the NFL. Look what they do week 1. Right up against Salah's Titans, who a lot of people like. So this might be the overreaction week 1 game, of this season, I'm thinking. Jets at Salah's Titans.
Yeah, I'm going over 5 and I'm going 5.5 wins, and I'm going over adjusted 6.5 wins at plus 210. Like you guys have spoken about the turnovers, but I don't know I don't know if this can be overstated. Like NFL teams that win the turnover margin win 70% of the games. They literally never won the turnover margin. They had I had as many interceptions as they did. Like literally. So they have 4 turnovers over here. No interceptions. And I think that's a big part. I mean, you're a Cowboys fan, Sal. You remember in 2023, we were 3rd in turnover differential. 2024, we didn't win the turnover differential, and it completely changed our record. We went from 12 wins to God knows how many. We just didn't make the playoffs that year. So that changes everything. You look at the Jags, they went from 9 turnovers to 27, and then last year they're a playoff team, and they have a chance to beat the Buffalo Bills in the postseason. So turnovers are really everything. I mean, like literally, I don't know how many, I just think turnovers matter so much that it just can't be overstated. And then I think they added some pieces to this team. I mean, when you look at who they added Minkah Fitzpatrick. You could say he's washed, Larry Holmes status, whatever. He's a ball hawk. He's going to get you some turnovers. I think with Geno Smith, he didn't really play well last year with the Raiders, but the Raiders probably had one of the worst offensive lines we've ever seen. I think the offensive line should be better with the Jets. So I like this team to go over. I think they were 3-14 last year. You get some turnovers, you win 6-7 games. So I'm taking the Jets.
To put in perspective, net turnover EPA the last 16 years of football. That's 500 football teams.
Yeah.
They were 496th.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
That is something else. And just from a viewing perspective, it's like when you go against, and there's so many shitty quarterbacks, right? When the injuries start piling up. But, like when Flacco's playing like flawless ball, and you're like, all right, well, he's going to give one up in the 4th quarter. He is. Yeah. The Jets didn't have that luxury at all against any of the quarterbacks. It's crazy.
And, they have the 4th easiest schedule per win totals. Yeah. But then here's another caveat. I know a lot of you guys like Buffalo. They play Buffalo last game of the year. Right. What if Buffalo doesn't need that game?
You're saying they're going to be fighting for their lives, Raheem. You got them at 8-8 going into week 17.
No, but I'm just saying. 18. I mean, it's very possible that Buffalo doesn't need that game, and they get the chance to play Miami twice. So I think they're in a good position to go over this win total. It's ugly. sometimes the easiest bets to win or the hardest bets to place, but I think this is one of those.
Yep.
Kyle Allen throwing for 3 touchdowns and no picks in Week 18 against the Jets will be the day.
Well, I was going to go the other way.
That'll be the Shavers breakout game.
Oh my
Cade
God.
Klubnik over 2.5 games started. Or
I'll take the under. I'll take the under.
Is he officially the backup?
Not really. There's
They're
Brady
fighting it
Cook. There's
out.
Bailey Zappi. Yeah, there's a lot of
Zappy and Klubnik.
a lot of garbage in the mix.
What a duel!
All right.
What a duel!
Yeah, there you go. All right, that's the Jets. I noticed we're not spending as much time on some of these other teams, and I expect that'll continue with the Dolphins, who FanDuel has at 3.5. The over is -140. The under is +120. Raheem, help me with this because they're 35 to 1 to win the division. That's fine. 150 to 1 to win the AFC, but 1,000 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. What usually that just doubles that conference number to the Super Bowl number, but this is like, all right, they might win the AFC, but no way they're beating the NFC team in the Super Bowl. Oh,
Wait,
people
there's
just betting them
1,000
to win the
I'm
conference.
I'm seeing like 300 to 1.
Did it move? Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, I see it like something crazy.
Oh, I looked
Sounds like
last-
CLV and me.
Yeah.
no,
I see like
1,000?
30,000 to 1.
Oh, I'm seeing 1,001 on FanDuel Super Bowl. winner.
You're part owner of FanDuel if they win the Super Bowl and you have
Yeah,
it.
that's it. All right, so
Oh man.
Jeff Hafley takes over for the curious Mike McDaniel. Malik Willis is going to take snaps. They signed him 3 years, $67 million.
Yeah. I think your line is wrong because I'm seeing like, what is this?
What's my line? My line is for the company we work for. What is it?
Yeah, I'm
is
on
it wrong?
FanDuel right now. I see for the Jets to win the Super Bowl, I see 30,000.
No, not the Jets. I'm saying the Dolphins or the
Oh, the
1,000.
Dolphins. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
we're
like,
moving on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying for 150 to 1 for the conference and then 1,000 for the Super Bowl doesn't matter. Neither's happening.
Yeah,
But,
that's not even 1,000 to 1. That's like 100. That's
look
like,
at that.
you see how many zeros that is?
Yeah, it's 6 zeros. All right. I think
Have you
it's
ever had
1,000,
the
but-
6 zeros on an NFL team before?
Well, that might be because of I'm just looking at this here. I mean, he was a defensive coordinator for 2 years. Halfway they bring him in. McDaniel's out. Bobby Slowick is in as the offensive coordinator. This is rebuild. If there is ever a rebuild year, this is it. They had 13 draft picks, but which way are you going? You have to pick something with this 3.5.
Poor
Yuck.
Malik Willis. I think this is a 1 or 2 win team. The only interesting bets that are out there are between them and the Arizona Cardinals for worst team in the NFL. And I have to tell you, after the Cardinals, the way they showed out last night in the Hall of Fame game, early August, there were clips circulating all week long with the Cardinals looking like, I don't know, what's the football equivalent of the Bad News Bears? There was all kinds of shenanigans. It looked like the Benny Hill show. You young guys won't understand that, but yeah, shenanigans galore in training camp for the Cardinals. But this Miami team, I can't think of a worse situation for Malik Willis to step into. He is a quarterback that wants to run first and throw second, and this Miami team is going to be behind in every single game that they play, and so he's not going to be able to do that. And in addition to that, Bobby Slowick, good job by him getting another job in the NFL. If you want to call the Miami situation truly an NFL situation, it is a job. It is one of the 32.
It does pay.
It does pay. He covered himself not in glory. What's the opposite of glory? Poop. He was really bad in Houston. He was, I think, as we get further and further away from his regime in Houston, dramatically impactful on the growth of CJ Stroud. This Miami team has punted on the season, and I can't get there I can't get to 3 wins, so it's an under for me.
The tough thing with 3.5 is if you go under, there's really not a lot of room for error.
You can cough and sneeze and get over that number. And I mean, what if I told you that this Miami Dolphins team starts 2-0? Because
yeah.
Do you count the preseason games or the?
No. I mean, no. Like literally, look at the schedule. They play the Raiders, who I mean, Kirk Cousins, he can't move. And then you play a 49ers team where everybody is in the hospital. Like, is it out of the question that this team, they have a brand new head coach, brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive player. They got a bunch of young, hungry players. Is it not out of the realm of possibility that this team starts 2-0? I mean, last year we probably had the most improbable winner of the season with the Raiders beating the Patriots, who were 14-3.
No doubt.
So it's like I look at this number at 4.5. You cough and sneeze, you get a couple turnovers, and you go over this number. And then, I mean, you play Buffalo and New England at the end of the season. Who's to say they need those games? So I can't get anywhere near this. I just don't know what to do with this because I think there's so many question marks. You look at this team, they should be one of the worst teams in football, but they're a young, hungry team with a new head coach. I think there's a lot there to where we just don't know, and I just, to me, it's priced properly.
Well, I know you're gonna argue vig with me here, but 3.5 is where FanDuel has it, right in there with the num. So that's the number I was looking at here. But the other thing I'm looking at, Dabbundo, when we say poor Malik Willis, he signed for $67 million, but poor Malik Willis, Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, they got for nothing, and Caleb Douglas, who's now out. These are his receivers. These are his targets. Where are the points going to come from?
Points are going to come from the run game. I'm actually really intrigued by Miami this year, relatively speaking, of course. So they are the youngest team in the NFL by a pretty significant margin, almost 0.3 of a year younger than the second youngest team, which is KC, which, by the way, I'm really excited to talk about their defense when we get around to the AFC West in a couple weeks. But I think that gives you a lot of possibility for this team to grow into like the really feisty team that we're really excited to bet as like a +7.5 home dog in week 6. And we're like, man, they got these 3 defensive dudes who none of us had definitely heard of before the season, but they're actually kind of playing really well. And their O-line is good. Like, the O-line rankings have them as an above average group. Achane is good. Willis is a good runner. They can try to shorten these games. They can surprise some teams. There will be a team, cough, cough, Buffalo maybe, with a bad run defense who all of a sudden you look up and Miami's up 21-13 in the third quarter and they run for 250 yards combined. I think this team has a plan. Now, are they going to be able to stop competent passing teams? Probably not. They're going to fall behind? Probably. But I think they can surprise a few teams. And I think they're going to be different than a lot of your traditional bad teams who are just kind of going through the motions in the sense that they have a plan. Slowick, look, the Houston offense never developed, but it's not like Nick Caley came in last year and lit the world on fire with the same personnel. Like, they got worse running the ball last year. So
we'll get a chance to talk about that Houston situation, though.
Yeah. I think their O-line sucked, and I think it still might suck. But the Dolphins have a legit O-line. So, there's no downfield threat. I think they win 4 or 5 games. I'm going over.
All right. You're going over.
It's feisty 5-12, where 3 different times they're close, but Malik Willis can't quite engineer the 2-minute drive, and they lose by 4 or 5 or 6. I could see
They're favored in 1 game, home against the Jets. They have the second toughest schedule. The rest advantage, if you're into that, they're like bottom 3. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough when you look at the schedule and everyone's better than you. What are you supposed to do? Like, they're going to lose that.
That's where the surprises come, Sal. They're going to be the Ronnie. What was his name? The Wildcat guy they had the one year when they surprised the Patriots with the Wildcat.
Oh, was it Ronnie Harmon? No,
it was no. It was.
I know who you're talking about. It was an A in there, right?
Ronnie Brown. Ronnie Brown. Thank you, Billy Gill. Ronnie Brown. When they came out and ran the Wildcat all over New England, they're gonna be like a little Wildcatty, little Malik Willis, running all over teams. He was one of the most efficient running quarterbacks in the NFL last year.
Yeah. All right. Nothing at edge rusher, tight end, cornerback, safety. It's tough. This is a tough. You have to shit on one team, right? Like, there's going to be one team that's Peyton or
it's
Arch Manning.
One of the worst secondaries I've ever seen assembled.
Yeah. All right. So let's do division winners. You could probably tell by the tone who everyone's going to go with, but Raheem, start us off. Buffalo -130, New England +130, Jets 20-1.
Balling like I played for New England.
Okay.
I know what Rick Ross said, so I'm going Patriots +130. I also want to get a little bit frisky and take the Pats, more wins than the Bills +140. I'm going with the New England Patriots. I think they're the best team in this division. They might start off a little slow, and it's very possible they start off 1-3, 1-2. If I like what I see, I might do what I did last year with the Chicago Bears and add more. So,
all right,
I'm telling y'all in advance. If they start off slow, I might be adding more.
Joe House, you're up.
Well, I picked Buffalo to win more games than New England, so I feel like I have to play Buffalo to win the division. I do. There is a nice hedge that's out there that we'll talk about in a moment. But again, I think the margin between those teams is very thin, and I'm fascinated to see, especially New England in this different environment. One thing that we didn't mention when we talked about New England, are we all sure that there isn't any more news out there? No more breaking stories as it relates to the head coach? Are we all 100% confident that every single element of weird behavior out of the head coach is in our rearview mirror?
Of course.
We're not sure, but this might actually be a good thing.
Really?
Well, not if he gets suspended.
All right, yeah,
Josh McDaniels interim is not very good for my bets. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, it's hard to get in the psyche of players, but if there is no more new news, House, how does this affect the locker room talk? Like,
I don't think it matters one bit to the players. It's whether or not he's the head coach of the team. If he misses any games, then that compromises the New England situation a little bit.
Gotcha.
Have we ever seen a head coach get suspended? Like this, I'm not sure if I've ever seen precedent for this.
Well, there's a lot of pictures, a lot of stories that come out.
At this late,
Sean
this
Payton
stage
got
in the
suspended,
season?
didn't he?
Sean Payton, yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Bounties.
But he's not getting suspended.
So what's the gate for this one? I haven't seen a gate. Yeah, like, the people put gate at the end of everything. Spy gate, deflate gate, bounty
What was
gate.
the name of that hotel?
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Canoodle Gate, whatever.
Right. Boutique gate. Yeah. All right. So that's we got Raheem with New England. We have House with Buffalo. Dabbundo.
New England. You can already see the headlines, though. If the Patriots do start 1-3, early season schedule's not too easy. It's Vrabel's off the field issues divide locker room and Patriots Super Bowl hangover, Vrabel hangover after, fun
I
weekend.
don't even think you need to get to 1-3. If they lose by double digits to Seattle week 1, you're going to hear all the Boston talk. Is going to get there. But you still like them?
Probably. I still do. Yeah. I don't have a real gap here. I do find it very funny, by the way, like FanDuel odds. So it's Buffalo minus 130, New England plus 130, and they're like, the other teams F off, which is kind of how this feels. What would it take for the Jets, the Dolphins to win the division?
Injury to Josh
Injury
Allen.
to Drake May, Josh Allen. Who else would have to get hurt?
That's about it.
Yeah. Do you
Vrabel
guys know
suspended.
the backup
fired.
Allen.
The backup quarterback for New England is? Do you guys know? I looked up the backup quarterback for every team because that does have to factor
it does
into
matter.
these handicaps.
It's Kyle Allen for
I
what
was
was it
sad
for
to
New
see
England?
Mitch Trubisky go. Tommy DeVito is.
Oh
going
yeah,
to be the quarterback
right.
for the-
Oh, that'd be funny. Oh,
That
Simmons
would be
is stuck
funny.
with Tommy DeVito all year. How
my
much
God.
fun
That would be
would that be?
funny. That would
Come
be
on.
funny.
That would
Come
be
on.
definitely hilarious.
Do we think he's still living in his mother's house in New Jersey and commuting up to Foxborough for the games or for practice?
Yeah, they've already scouted the chicken finger situation up there.
The endorsement money might have dried out a little bit.
Dried
All right,
out.
So
Damn.
let's
Yeah, I'm
hit
going
the,
New England. I have
okay.
I have New England basically even with Buffalo. So smidge better the market says Buffalo is. I disagree. They'll split. It'll come down to Buffalo. Buffalo will lose a bozo game to one of Miami or the Jets, and the Patriots will not lose a bozo game, and that will be the difference in the division. That's my prediction.
Last year I said that Drake May would win a Super Bowl before Josh Allen. Standing on that, and at this point, I think the Bills' window is closed.
Oh, I won't go that far.
Wow. Tell it to your model. Says 11.007 wins or whatever it is. Yeah. All right.
Let's be honest. Buffalo will probably be in the divisional playoffs again, and they'll
all
probably
these
be
guys
in
are
the
what?
mix.
29, 30. Lamar, Mahomes,
Burrow and Allen.
Aren't they getting?
Allen is 30.
He's 30.
But I mean, if you look at it's so funny because if you look at the Bills and the Ravens, and if you look at the best 5-year span for DVOA, both of them are like in the top 5. So it's kind of a miracle that neither have broken through. And at some point, it's like, all right, if you haven't gotten it done then, when are you going to get it done?
And I think we're spoiled because of Tom Brady. It's like, no. These guys all have till 40 years old. No. Raheem is more right than anybody with this. Like, this is kind of where this is shit or get off the pot, right? 30, 31, 32. You You got to kind of get it going.
And they're
Yeah,
I mean, you got to
the
look
year,
at
the
Josh
years
Allen.
of penciling in Baltimore, Buffalo, and KC as division winners,
Yeah.
I think are over. That's for
doubt.
sure. I don't think the
And
window's
Josh
closed.
Allen
though.
and Lamar Jackson are running quarterbacks, so I think their aging curve is a little bit worse than the traditional pocket passer.
For sure. All right. All right. You know what, Raheem? We'll start with you since you have a lot to talk about running quarterbacks here. What's your player prop for this division?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Malik Willis over 550 rushing yards for the season. I mean, you look at this guy, like, I mean, he only played like 4 games last year, only started 1, but he had 2 games where over 60% of the snaps he played. He ran the ball 9 times for 44 yards in both. So I see a guy who is a running quarterback first, a passing quarterback second, and if you you push that over 16 games, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that he could be a 1,000-yard rusher. FanDuel doesn't have this up. FanDuel, if you're watching this, please put up Malik Willis, 800-plus yards, 700-plus yards, 900. Let me play an escalator up to 1,000. I would love that.
I mean, it might not be designed runs either, right? He could be running for his life and scamper for 30. You might see that like 4 or 5 times this season. Malik Willis. Over 550.5. That's Raheem's player prop. House, you have a rushing quarterback prop too.
Yeah, it's a theme. Josh Allen over 10.5 regular season rushing touchdowns. FanDuel did us a tiny bit of a favor here. Now you have to lay the juice. It's minus 128, but the number out in market open at 11.5. I like this 10.5. Josh Allen has rushed for over that number of touchdowns each of the past 3 seasons. He's averaging 13 touchdowns a season, but this is really the benefit of Joe Brady as the head coach and you know what they've done at the offensive coordinator. They're all on the same page. When they get inside the red zone, Josh Allen is a threat to score for them. He gets the ball. He's not afraid. They use that as a weapon. The only thing, and you know, if you're looking for downside case scenarios against this whole Buffalo thing, their offensive line coordinator coach retired, Aaron Cromer. And he was given a ton of credit both for picking the talent, getting that offensive line to the top 5 offensive line once again this upcoming season. What will that loss mean? He also got some credit for engineering the rush attack that the Bills used to great success last year. Does that have a negative impact on the Buffalo's fortunes, but also this bet for Josh Allen over 10.5 regular season rushing touchdowns? I don't think so. I like it.
There you go. Yeah, they got a tackle from Boston College in the draft, but otherwise it's similar offensive line. All right, Dabbundo, I like this. And if you like the Patriots to thrive, this is sort of where you should be going.
AJ Brown, 10-plus touchdowns, plus 260. He has played in one of the most run-heavy offenses in the entire NFL, an offense whose entire inside the 5 strategy revolved around pushing the tush of Jalen Hurts, and now he is freed to go play in an offense with a quarterback who will be much more unleashed offensively, a quarterback who will use the middle of the field more. And that's not to say that Jalen Hurts is a bum. Jalen Hurts throws a great deep ball. Jalen Hurts and AJ were very symbiotic when they were on those back shoulder throws for certain, but they just didn't really run. They didn't really throw the ball a lot in the red zone. And New England, look, maybe their run game gets a lot better, but one of their biggest problems last year was that they had red zone problems, especially inside the 5, inside the 10. And, you know, one easy solution, if you still can't run the ball, is to throw it to the big fella who turns 50-50s into 70-30s. So I think Brown, they're going to want to keep him happy. You know, they're going to want to keep him engaged. It's important to do that. And they're certainly going to try. So I'll go AJ Brown, 10-plus tuds at plus 260.
I mean, Raheem, you talk about escalator bets. This could be a good one. If maybe ends up with 41 touchdown passes, why wouldn't 13 go to AJ Brown? Right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean,
10 plus. Yeah.
And he's such a big body to where it's like, all right, he's a great red zone threat, and the Eagles just didn't use him in that manner. So I do like this one.
Yeah, he had 11 with Steichen the first year. That was pre-tush push, right? They weren't using the tush push then. And then in 2023, 4 and 5, he had 7 each, despite like pretty similar numbers across the board in terms of receptions and per catch. It just wasn't a red zone target anymore. But when he was in Tennessee, he had 9, 11, 5, 11.
All right. So what about miscellaneous bets? Do you have House? You have one. It's interesting. I love the first through fourth thing. So FanDuel offers that. And it seems like this is a division where we would be able to nail it, where there's two superior teams and two junk teams that you have to figure out. And yet I stared at it for 20 minutes and I still couldn't figure it out. But I think you're going against yourself a little bit here.
Well, it's the best price available for the Patriots jumping over the Bills, and that's not a crazy kind of proposition, right? I mean, the Patriots did win 14 games last year, and the Bills only won 12, and the win totals are very close to one another. So I'm playing this. The conviction, the way for this to make sense is that you have to have conviction that the Jets are going to finish third and Miami is going to finish fourth, because then that opens this thing up. I have that element I feel very strongly about. The 8 new starters on defense for the Jets are guys that have played in this league and logged good minutes and have, a track record of success. A.D. Mitchell as an addition to that Jets offense. I like the Jets in the 3 position, Miami in the 4 position. And so swapping the Patriots to come out ahead of the Bills in the division, that pays at nearly 3-1 plus 291. You can't get that kind of price around the idea of the Patriots winning this division otherwise, or over their win total. You have to go crazy with an alt total for the Patriots to get all the way up to plus 291. That exact order to me, because I believe that the Jets will finish third and the Dolphins will finish fourth, that feels like a good one.
As you talk me through this, I think I'm going to do something really stupid, because rather than the Jets are going to come in third, and it's not up there right now on FanDuel, but I think I'm just going to bet $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 on the Jets to come in third place.
Even money.
Wait, is it even? Oh, is it up there?
Even money. Yeah, if you
You
go into
bet
like
that much on the
exact
Jets to
order.
finish third, and they will mess around and win the division.
What a fun bet that'll be, Raheem.
Josh
Oh my
Allen
God.
breaks his
Imagine
leg.
the
and
hedging.
one.
Oh my God!
They come
Come
in
on, we're not
second.
getting more than 7 wins. What would have to happen?
Well,
Jets
I
coming
mean,
in third.
well, I'll tell you what could happen.
Yeah.
So I have 2 bets that I like
You have
for
the
worst
Dolphins
record
over.
this year.
Yeah.
The 2 New York teams. We'll talk Giants in a few weeks, but plus 900 worst record in the NFL. New York Jets. If you
Wow.
think Aaron Glenn is truly awful, if you think Frank Reich is truly awful, and you think Geno Smith is washed, which are all reasonable claims based on what we watched last season and for Frank Reich the last couple of stops he's had, then Miami has a new coach and a new quarterback, and it could be intriguing offensively. Arizona's probably the biggest hurdle there, certainly the biggest hurdle there. But at 9-1, Jets' worst record is not out of the question, in my opinion. This team could be they could be Raiders level, like last year's Raiders.
I get it wrong every year, that bet. I want to look like a champ there, and I think.
I mean, think about it.
Minnesota a
Last
couple
year
years
it was
ago. Yeah.
Pete Carroll, he'll bring some respect to this organization. Turns out he was just washed and the team sucked. And he brought in some bad assistants. Remember, Chip Kelly, offensive coordinator. Frank Reich, Chip Kelly, not that different
Yeah.
at this point in their careers.
I think we nailed it with the analysis. It's just impossible for a team to have 0 turnovers again.
True.
Yeah.
They're going to accidentally scratch a couple more wins. But who knows? Whoever knows. Anybody else for a division play? I know, Raheem, you talked about it earlier with Joe Brady.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a long shot lottery ticket. Now we know that this doesn't necessarily fit the profile. The profile of Coach of the Year is that typically it comes from a team with a preseason win total of 7.5 wins. Well, I mean, Buffalo's at 10.5. But the way I look at it is that if you look at this Buffalo Bills schedule, which we discussed earlier, if they can overcome that and they look good, this is a good long shot lottery ticket. So let's go with Joe Brady, Coach of the Year, plus 15-1. You throw in a dart, but I think if they can just overcome it, you got a real shot. So, and then even if you don't win, let's say they start off 5-1, 6-2, you get a little cash out value, and you trade out of your position.
Yeah, I like
It's a
that.
really interesting year for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I was looking at it now. We'll do awards later in a few weeks, but let's look at this. Yeah, what are you gonna say, Dabbundo?
Harbaugh is the favorite at 6-1.
Yeah,
Harbaugh? I
Which
guess.
Harbaugh?
John Harbaugh.
Johnny.
Minter is the second favorite, I guess, because Baltimore probably wins a lot of games, and they didn't win a lot of games last year, so he gets the boost off of that.
Right.
And then Brady, it's very rare that, like the favorites win this award, though.
Yeah, this is basically comeback play. Well, it's funny to answer House's question. You know who's last on that list? Mike Vrabel, 80-1. Maybe they do know something. Maybe. I mean, I know the team that won 14 games isn't likely to have a coach that wins Coach of the Year.
Exceed that, yeah.
That. But maybe.
Well, he lost his most important voter. That's why the market knows there won't
Put
be
it right
any.
on the tee. Right on the tee for you.
That's hilarious.
Inherently, though, being the favorite for Coach of the Year makes you less likely to win the award. Because you got to come out of nowhere in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
to win
Andy
the
Reid
award.
was always, and he's towards the bottom too. Belichick only won this like twice in 12 years or something crazy.
Right?
So,
it's like, all right, we kind of expected them to be good. So I don't know with Harbaugh as the favorite, but
I don't like the Giants either. So
we're gonna have a great time together, the three of us.
I love
Sal will
this.
sit on the sidelines.
I love this. I can't wait. All right,
Sal, like, if you did like the Patriots, would you even pick them, or is that like?
No,
against
I would. I'm torn because Raheem and I said the same thing. Like, you can go crazy about the schedule. And by the way, they're only like the 12th hardest schedule right now. It's not like
when you have the Jets and the Dolphins twice each.
Yeah.
Right. I know. Not too many losses. Give me losses there. All right, let's do plays of the day. We're switching gears.
But before we get to plays of the day,
something else? Yeah.
We got an audible because last night was the craziest Red Sox game ever.
Oh, yeah.
What do we do about the Red Sox? Like,
Well, it lines up. It lines up with plays of the day. It's perfect, Dream.
I mean, they're 11-1 to win the World Series.
Yes.
What do we? I mean, they're what plus 300 to win the division.
Yes.
What are they to win the AL?
No.
I don't know.
You see,
What do
Raheem
we
didn't
do
listen
about
to
them?
Raheem didn't listen.
He didn't
to the
listen to
Wednesday
us
show.
on Wednesday. We gave the very best bet for the Boston Red Sox. The very best possible bet is for the Red Sox to finish fourth in the
seeding. Fourth
seeding. Yes. Is it still at plus 230 or is it down?
It's down to plus 180.
Still plus.
You know,
still
Simmons
very good.
called me on Wednesday night and said, "I got this bet, Red Sox plus 230 to be the 4th seed." I'm like, "Did you listen to the show?" He goes, "No." I said, "Really? We talked about that on the show today." He's like, "Well, House was texting me." I was like, "Where do you?" It's like we talked about it on the show.
that we talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well,
What do
that
you
was
think
funny.
of Jets to come in third place?
So I mean, outside of the 4th seed, there's nothing that you guys would put on them to win the World Series or the.
Oh no, I
AL?
definitely would. I think that's a great price for them to win the World Series. They definitely can win the World
Like
Series.
the numbers are staggering. I mean, like they overcame 5 deficits to walk off the White Sox in 13 innings. They swept the series, won 8 in a row, and since June 25th, they're 31-5.
Yeah.
We did the show like 2 weeks ago. And we were like minus 160. We should probably still bet it to make the playoffs.
Right.
They're now minus 4,500 to make the playoffs.
Oh my God. I'll
a wrap.
still do that. Yeah.
You
You know,
That's a
I
good price.
think they were
Do
80-1 to have the most wins in July.
Wow.
Shouts to Gil Alexander. He actually hit
Yeah,
that.
he does
Yeah,
good
I
work. He
saw
does
that.
good work on that.
He
yeah.
really did.
There's no game that they're out of ever, right? It's like you can't.
Bullpen's really good, and Crochet's coming back. Maybe, probably.
I don't think the division. Where? How many games?
They're
What's the
5
deficit
behind
now?
Tampa Bay.
Probably not catching him.
All right. Tampa Bay. How many games are left?
30-ish.
60. That's it. All right. So they would really have to go like 15-25, whatever, or more than that. Yeah. All right. 3-1. It's tough. All right. Well, I'm putting them on a parlay. What do you think of that? With the Cardinals, Red Sox, since the All-Star break, Raheem mentioned, but since the All-Star break, 17-3, they've won 8 in a row. And Jack Perkins is pitching for the A's. His almost a 7 ERA, almost 8 in July. And the A's have lost 8 straight. Jack Perkins starts. I'm parlaying the Red Sox with the Cardinals, who are playing Colorado with the worst record in the National League. They've allowed the most runs in the majors, the worst run differential, minus 108. Cardinal starter Lyle Leahy's gone 7 straight, allowing 2 or fewer earned runs. 43 innings, 5 earned runs. So that's Cardinals, Red Sox parlay plus 130. Look at you, Joe House. You got something similar going.
Yeah, I went ahead and now it's kind of an auto bet. Anytime I'm looking to fade the Athletics for the balance of the season. I was fortunate enough to get under 67.5 wins a couple weeks ago. And I love the trend that we're seeing here out of the Athletics. So this is Boston coming off of that epic situation against the White Sox, but I'll go ahead and lay the 1.5 at -118. That's one best bet. And then I'm going to parlay. Cousin Sal just made the case for St. Louis over Colorado. I'm going to parlay that with the Cleveland Guardians going up against the White Sox, who had to fly home after that epic loss last night. Slight, fade of the White Sox coming into a situation where, they were up till all hours of the night, no sleep whatsoever, and Guardians need to right this ship a little bit. So that's a small parlay for me.
There you go. Is that plus 181? That pays?
Plus 181. Yeah.
Beautiful.
What is Boston money line tonight?
The 260, I think I saw.
260. The bullpen's in rough shape. I might play a team total. The A's are the worst team in the league now. It's not even close.
The A's are
without
horrible.
Kurtz, they're done.
Minus
And they've been done, but they're really
cover
done.
the 1.5 runs.
Yeah, I actually wanted to play Cleveland. I wanted to give you guys a different game because I saw House was on it. I'm gonna go with the Texans Rangers. I'm fading the Baltimore Orioles. I think these are two teams going in two different directions. So take a Valdi minus 142.
There you go. Dabbundo. No shock here. Phillies total.
Yeah. Well, last night minus 300 was never in doubt. Now I like under 8 Phillies Blue Jays. I actually like this matchup for Soriano against the Phillies. The Phillies do hit a good number of balls on the ground, above average rate. They don't get on base very often, and Soriano's pretty good at limiting the long ball, which is what Philly relies on heavily offensively. And then the only the Phillies bullpen is in a bit of a underwater situation following the last couple of days. So the last 9 outs could be tough for Philly tonight, but I think this total should be pretty flat, 7.5. We get under 8 minus 115, so I'm taking it.
All right, there you go.
I will be there tonight too. I'm gonna go catch another foul ball.
I was gonna say, what kind of odds would you put on Dabbundo catching another foul ball?
I'm sitting in the same seat I did 2 nights ago, so it is a little bit of a hot.
How hot is it in Philadelphia today?
Let's see what the actual
hot.
is. It is 91 degrees.
Yeah,
what's the humidity looking like?
61%.
high.
Does that factor into the odds of me catching a foul ball?
I think you have to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's when the ball flies more, but I can't do the math right now.
Right.
I
But it
played in
definitely
my
has an
men's
impact.
league last night. It was so humid that when I went to throw the ball in from the outfield, it just slipped out of my hand and it went way offline. I was like, Jesus, it's
Blaming the
brutal out
humidity
here.
for that.
Blaming the
Love it.
humidity.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. By the way, the Mets have a Savannah Banana on their team now. It's great. He strikes guys out, does a split. It's terrific. He's going to get murdered probably in the next 2 weeks, so enjoy it while you can. It's freaking Mets. So stupid.
Sal, what are your thoughts on Chase Utley?
They trade half the team. I hate his guts. What do you mean?
All right. Well, it's tonight's Philadelphia Wall of Fame induction night for Chase Utley down at the bank.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, you should make a trip down. Come
Filthy
support him.
Congratulations.
Yeah. What are you going to do? All right. That was good. I think that was fun. We got the AFC East. What are there, like 7 more divisions? We have, what is this? Monday, big announcement. We're on Twitch, guys. We shot a promo for it and everything. We'll be here on YouTube also, The Ringer, Spotify, all of it. But we're on Twitch. Raheem, what are your thoughts about this, going to Twitch?
I'm excited, but I want to bring something else up. I mean, it's out of the pocket, but Jaylen Brown, he did his introductory press conference in the middle of the hood in Southwest Philly. Like, he didn't have it at the Sixers training facility. He didn't have it at the Wells Fargo Center, whatever they call it now, the Comcast Center. He had it in the middle of the hood at Myers Recreational Center. That's going to go really well with the Philly fans. I know I've been talking this Philadelphia under stuff, but I think more and
Do you
more.
think they try to talk him out of that? I mean, that was a conscious effort, right, to do it there, right?
No, I think he demanded it there because I think he just wanted to be a part of the community.
Yeah.
And you hear these talks about LeBron James and living in New York. When you see stuff like that, I don't know, man. I think Philly might do it. I
Look
don't
at
know.
this.
It's just a gut feeling.
He's in.
I might be in.
Raheem
but
Palmer, welcome
Wow,
to the
Dabbundo.
resistance.
Wow,
Welcome to the resistance,
Philadelphia.
Raheem.
The Bundo's catching foul balls, press conferences in the middle of the hood. A lot going on in Philly right
I
now.
love that Dream snuck that in under Cuz's nose. Cuz is so done. He does not want. He tried to put a prohibition against the NBA.
okay.
until October. But
Look,
Dream got
Haynes
one in
King ran a touchdown, a walk-off touchdown, a meaningless game, and it erased 3 weeks of LeBron talk, which nobody knew what the hell they were talking about anyway. So it's fine. It's all right. We're good. We're back in football.
I mean, we hit everything. We hit NFL. We hit baseball. I had to throw some NBA in there.
No, you got to. You have to.
I don't even have no boxing right now. So
The Aces covered last night. Miracle cover against the Fever.
What are we gonna do with Twitch? With people gonna yell at us and we get to respond, or it could be a little rough for us.
I'm the unofficial chat manager apparently, so I'm gonna be managing
you are?
the chat.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
really?
chat.
I need a Twitch chair. Don't you have to have a cool chair if you're on Twitch? Isn't that what they do?
I think so. Yeah. You need to be able to spin
we
a
are
lot.
on Twitch. Are we going to live stream us watching the game at some point? Because I feel like that's the natural
I love
progression.
that. Yeah. Let's do
Fourth
it.
quarter of a big game or something. Yeah, I would do it.
There's probably an Monday NFL game at 8 in the morning at some point that by accident we'll be doing at the same time as our show, the way they spread it out. But that's this week. All right, so Monday we come with the AFC North. Tate and I are going to have some college previews for you over the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, it's divisions, and that's going to do it for another episode of the Ringer Gambling Show. For Joe House.
The last
for
episode.
Raheem Palmer. Yeah, I guess so. We're rebranded too. We're the Ringer Wise Guys. We're going back. We're like HBO Max. We jump back and forth.
Max, HBO Max.
Dabbundo. Raheem. I'm Sal saying so long and happy handicapping. You must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE/NY or text HOPE New York in New York. For Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867.